I'm falling, I'm falling. Shouldn't be trusting me, I could be making it all up, you know. Out of control, you don't know me. I'm a danger to myself. Out of control, you don't.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you are tuning in. This is Unapologetically Me, featuring me. No special guest, just me. All right, you guys, so this is going to be the last video that I make. I believe this is going to be the last video that I make on Bob Saget. It's starting to get weird, as if it already wasn't. So I really don't want to do much deep dive. Plus, I have always said I don't want to do conspiracy theories on my channel. I want everything to be very fact-based. And of course, my opinion is going to be mixed into that, but I didn't want to get into a lot of political things or, conspiracy theories. And this is definitely starting to look a little bit more like a conspiracy theory. I don't think they're going to do much to give us any more information. I kind of feel like we're at a stalemate here with this. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit more information that I found out, some more of my opinions, and after that, that should be it for this, unless something like comes up that they're actually going to start talking to us like we deserve to be talked to, because let's face it, Bob Saget is a public figure, or was a public figure. Therefore, we kind of do deserve something. So anyway, let's get into it. So I want to start out by saying to my current subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. I am a new channel. I am a baby at this still. And, I really just started in November of this year. So I am just kind of chucking along here, trying to get my wits about me when it comes to YouTube. So, I am making mistakes, and I accept that. And I just want to thank everyone who makes comments. I take everything that you guys say into consideration, and I want to thank you so much for all the wonderful comments that I've gotten, and even the people that sometimes call me out do make good points. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, it's all a learning and growing experience for me at this point. And I just want to thank everybody out there for whatever you have to say. I would like to say keep it a little bit nicer. You don't got to be out and out mean. You can definitely get your point across without being, an a-hole. So, just keep that in mind, not just me, but with each other in the comment section. So anyway, let's move on and move into it. I also want to remind everyone that I did make 2 videos prior to this. If you want to check them out, the links will be in the description box. This is the third and final. So, my opinions about this specific case is speculative. Obviously, we just do not have the information for there to be enough facts for anyone to really be satisfied in this case. So I just want to start out by saying that I am not pointing fingers at anyone. All I am saying is, just some things that I have gathered in doing some research on this, and I'm just bringing those things to you. So this video actually is going to be about, I went on a little bit of a, down the rabbit hole a little bit here, and started reading things from the past that I hadn't really looked into before. And I found an interview or something like that with John Stamos, and he's talking to the Times, and he said some really odd things. And while I never read them back then, I could have definitely applied them in my last video. So I decided to make one more video going over some things that John Stamos said that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way when it comes to this. So we're going to get into that in a second. If you guys want to bear with me, if not, go ahead and fast forward through. I don't mind at all. But right now I'd like to talk about some conspiracy theories, or what they are, not some conspiracy theories, and why that has anything to do with this case. So my opinions about this, like I said, are speculative. we have evidence in the form of injuries. That is about the only hard evidence that we have, though, at this point. And I think that's what's upsetting everyone, because the actual hard evidence that we have doesn't really fit the cause of death. So we have the cause of death, but we don't have a manner of death. And I think that is definitely what people are questioning. You know, we know, and you guys are saying it's an accident, yet the evidence may point to other things. And so why are those things not really being looked into? And I think that if it were looked into, a lot of us would be quiet about it, because we would say, oh, okay, so they checked it, there is no other explanation. It was a freak accident. But we don't have that. We don't have anyone saying, look, for sure, we know this because here's surveillance, you know, we have checked everything. They're not saying that. And in fact, now Kelly Rizzo and the family has put out this stop on everything. It's now basically, we can't. So the investigation is still open. It's not closed. It hasn't been closed. But yet, no one can have any access to anything that the investigation has come up with so far. So then I guess, why don't you just close the case? Like, if that's it, and this is the narrative we're going with, then close the case. Like, why is it still open? I don't know. I don't know. So the only one who really knows what happened at this point is Bob Saget. And, you know, if something were done to him, that person or those people involved. If, allegedly, right? Okay. And anyone who's questioning the investigators, and that are speculating that they're speculating as well, right? They don't know if it was an accident. They weren't there. This happened alone, you know, allegedly. So they're speculating that it was an accident. And anyone who wants to go against that is being labeled a conspiracy theorist. So we're going to get into something in a few minutes. Like I said, we're going to go over the John Stamos thing. We're going to go over something else that Kelly Rizzo said that John Stamos admitted to or revealed during his interview with Times. And we'll go into that in a minute. But I just wanted to just real quickly go over what conspiracy theory really is. Okay? And apply the definition to this case. So, the Wikipedia definition of conspiracy theory is an explanation for an event or situation that involves a conspiracy by sinister or powerful groups, often political by motivation. When other explanations are more probable, it has a negative connotation implying that the appeal to a conspiracy is based on prejudice or insufficient evidence. It is not the same as conspiracy, which is defined as the action of plotting or conspiring, usually in a secretive manner. So a secret plan to do something unlawful or harmful. Instead, a conspiracy theory refers to a hypothesized conspiracy with specific characteristics such as opposition to the mainstream consensus among people such as historians, scientists, who are qualified to evaluate its accuracy. All right, so let's break that down quickly in my words, okay? Let me see if I can explain this. So, whereas a conspiracy can be proven, a conspiracy theory is purely hypothetical. It goes against mainstream or popular belief of a situation, even when experts have basically weighed in and already looked into all possibilities and came to this said conclusion. They are not always false by default, and their validity depends on evidence, just as in any theory. There are often discredited, they are often discredited due to cumbersome and improbable nature of many of them. Now, cumbersome meaning basically, these are in my own words, when you're problem solving, just keep it simple, right? We don't want all these extra yada yada yadas. You know, keep it simple. When you're comparing theories or there are competing theories or explanations, the simpler one is to be preferred. One should select the solution with the fewest assumptions. Okay? So let's just rewind a minute here. How does this kind of go into this case? Well, we're talking about how hypothetical, right? Conspiracy. It's hypothetical. It means, you know, it could possibly be made up because everything points in a different direction. It's been looked at by scientists or historians. And in this case, it's been looked at by police. It's been looked at by investigators. And it's been looked at by medical professionals. And it's been decided that it was an accident. But there are so many people questioning this. But here's the thing. There is evidence that makes us question whether or not it was an accident because the injuries were so severe. So you can call it a conspiracy theory if you want, but really I feel like it is just us finding evidence, noticing evidence, because not every medical expert agrees, right? We have already found medical experts that do not agree that this was an accident, or at least they're not saying it, but they're saying they haven't seen these type of injuries in an accident. They have only seen them in certain other things, or I can't say an accident because obviously a car accident is an accident. They haven't seen these types of injuries in a fall from standing. So is this a conspiracy theory, or is this just people wanting answers based on evidence? The evidence is 8 injuries to his head happened when he was alone and fell at standing height. That makes not a lot of sense to not just a lot of people, but a lot of medical professionals as well. So, now, the term conspiracy theory was developed back in the 60s by the CIA, to be exact, after Kennedy was assassinated. So, I think that says it all right there. But we could also say or argue that conspiracy theorists are really just critical thinkers. Now, don't come for me. These are my beliefs. They don't have to be yours. Thinking for yourself. What is critical thinking? Thinking for yourself, right? Not just believing what you're told to believe. You're looking for evidence. You're looking for facts. You're looking for things to back this up. And you're not believing that just because a majority of people believe a certain thing and they are telling you to believe this thing to be true when there's no significant evidence to prove it, right? So we're not just going along with it. We're questioning it. We're thinking for ourselves. We're thinking, this doesn't really make sense. So can we have a little bit more evidence, or can we have a little bit more information? And all theories aside, I was looking into things more, after I made my last video, like I said earlier. And I came across an interview with John Stamos. So let's get into that. So John Stamos, he told the Times Bob was always worried about everyone else, but he talked about death a lot. His wife, Kelly Rizzo, said that she had a premonition before his passing. I didn't see it. Well, of course he didn't see it. It was her premonition. He goes on to say, the last time that we were all together, we went on a double date to Nobu, maybe a month before he passed away. John said that unlike Rizzo, he had no idea that his friend was going to die soon. Excuse me, what? Unlike Rizzo, he had no idea that his friend was going to die soon. Well, of course he didn't. It's not like he had cancer or, a heart attack or a stroke or something like that to where he may have had some signs. He died of an accident, a slip and fall accident. So, of course, you wouldn't really have. And I would really be interested to know what this premonition was, because we have, the video that I showed in the last video that I did of, Kelly and Bob talking, and, she is saying that weird, thing after he said, oh, I'll be found dead in bed. And she said, oh, you better watch out, and she actually, there was another time during that interview that he made mention of something odd. And I found that when I watched the entire thing earlier today. And here's that clip.
Forward with how things are. I'll have people that I talk to who are single and they're like, well, I don't know if I want to go on the apps. I'm like, I don't know if you have a choice. Like there's like nowadays it's so much harder.
Be careful what apps though. There's some, I don't know, some of them that.
Well, there's dating apps for every type of person out there now. I mean,
is there one like
dating apps for like farmers,
Yeah. Is there a farmer app?
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but
is there one grander for grandparents?
No, there's, oh God, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I forget, but there is a like senior citizen. Well, there's several senior citizen type dating apps it's called like My Prime or something like that. Like, or
does it have like auto
messaging?
Like, I'll be right back, I fell down.
Oh my God, where you can like alert the authorities.
Or just tell the other person I can't get up right now. So
like, please call 911 for me.
I'd love to see you, but I'm flat on my back.
I'll be right over. No, I think that nowadays it's hard to meet people in the real world. I mean, I look at
now that's kind of weird too. It doesn't mention death, but it is just kind of weird that it was all in the same video. So anyway, John also recalls that Bob, this is things that John Stamos said in this interview. Bob didn't look like a guy who was going to die, but he was very calm, which was odd for Bob. So basically, like, he didn't look like he was going to die, but he was acting like maybe he thought his time was coming. And that's really a strange statement to make, in my opinion. I mean, of course he didn't look like he was going to die, because he didn't die of anything that you would look for. When you're going bed, when someone passes away, usually in their sleep, like we initially were told, and making us kind of think it was a heart attack. Well, at that point, you would maybe kind of look back and think, yeah, he looked a little pale the last time I saw him, or he was very tired, or he's been complaining about, chest pain or something, or, if he were to have found out that he had terminal cancer or something, like he would have looked, oh, he lost a lot of weight, but this was an accident. This was a slip and fall. That's what we're being told. That's what everybody wants us to believe. So then, of course, he wouldn't look like he's going to die soon. And he shouldn't have been acting like he was either. So I don't know. I mean, he did have some heart disease, which was found in the autopsy. And, he was 65. Now, I just turned 42 this year, and I don't know if you guys give a rat's ass or not, but I'm going to just share this because it's relevant. I turned 42, and I'm literally, like, shitting my pants. Like, I'm not literally, I guess not literally shitting my, but I'm freaking out. Like, I'm feeling like, wow, time is flying these days. My kids are growing up so fast. Like, I'm in my 40s now. My parents are in their 70s. My mom has had some very serious health issues recently over the last year. She just finished chemo, and she's actually in the hospital right now, which is why some of my videos are just a little bit, I don't feel like I'm on point, but okay, enough about me. But I just feel like he could have been saying these things because he's at an age where he's starting to realize that he doesn't necessarily have all the time in the world anymore, and he needs to start doing things differently. And I think he had a lot of regret and remorse for things that he has done in the past, and the way he treated his marriage in the past. He actually talked a bit about that in that podcast with Kelly. And it did seem like it kind of put her off a little bit, but you could see his wheels turning in his head about certain things. And I feel like he was really trying to be a better man. So John Stamos went on to say he was at peace somehow. He listened and he was thoughtful. He didn't interrupt. He cared about what we were saying. And he said, I hate to say it, but it was the Bob that I always wanted to see. And it was the last time that I saw him. So the reason that I brought this to you guys, I find it very interesting. I find it very interesting and weird and sus that he is talking about Bob Saget looking a certain way. Looking like what? He should have looked like he was going to die when he died of an accident. You know, it's just weird. It's weird. And then this premonition. And then he says, oh, it was a premonition. I didn't see it. Well, of course you didn't see it. It was someone else's premonition. Like, why would you even say that? Like, duh. We know you didn't see it. But did she explain it? Can you tell us what it was? You know, it would be really interesting to know that. So the investigation is still open. It hasn't been closed. The family, what they have done in a sense is halt any further investigation. The spokesperson for the case says, this is what he said. I'm going to read this. So he says, you want to backtrack and make sure you find everything you can to verify that this was an accident. Eventually, you're going to come to a point where there's nothing left to check. We may end up having to say, we know he hit his head, but we don't know how because nobody saw it happen. Okay. Now, we're not idiots, right? There's so much left to see. There's so much left to check to say that this for sure was an accident. There is no reason that they can't say, that they can't do enough searching and have enough evidence to say that they really know for a fact that this was an accident, that this was completely self-inflicted, that there was no one else involved. There are ways to prove it, right? So why can't you just tell us that you've proved it, or why, you know? So this is what has just got everybody up in a tizzy. And of course it's like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? You guys think we're fucking stupid, I guess. I don't know. But it's like, can you at least like let us know that you have like seen something that confirms that this was not foul play? And they just can't do that. And that's the problem. But let me talk about something else that some people have been saying. Now, some people have been saying that Bob Saget he was staying in Orlando at the Ritz-Carlton, right? That's where he passed away. They're saying that why didn't he stay in Jacksonville then? So his last show ended at about 11:30 in Jacksonville. He was at the Point Vedra Concert Hall. I don't know if I said that right. And that then after that he drove like the 2-hour drive to Orlando. And a lot of people are going around and saying that this was because there were gay bars in Orlando, or, you know, that he was doing some shady shit in Orlando, and that because why else would he stay there? So I wondered that as well when I heard that. And I went and looked. And it wasn't very hard to find out. All I did was look at the lineup for his tour. So he was on this tour. And he did 2 shows so far. This was the second show of the tour. So the first show was on January 7th, in Orlando. So, he, flew into Orlando, got his room and whatever, did his show in Orlando, woke up in the morning, drove up to Jacksonville, did the show in Jacksonville, And then, of course, drove back down to Orlando, where he already had his room and where he was going to fly home. The next show that he was scheduled to do was January 28th, and that was going to be in West Palm Beach, Florida. So, as you can see from the map, even if the West Palm Beach, Florida was not 2 weeks away, and he wasn't going home, he would have had to go back down south anyway to get to West Palm Beach. So to me, it is not weird that he, went up to Jacksonville and then came back down to Orlando, because he was actually going to go home and then come back for the West Palm Beach. At least that's what Kelly has said. So they had their last text messages, they had their last phone call, whatever it was, and see you tomorrow kind of thing. So he was going home. And even if he weren't, he would have to come back down past Orlando to get down to West Palm Beach, Florida. So I don't find that odd now, And then, I'm showing you the evidence right now to prove that what I'm telling you is true. That he came to Orlando, did his show, slept in the Ritz-Carlton, woke up in the morning, drove up to, or afternoon, whatever, drove up to Jacksonville, performed, drove back down to Orlando to the same exact hotel room that he was already in, and went to bed and was going to go home in the morning and then fly back to West Palm Beach in 2 weeks. So there's that. Let's just, whether or not gay bars are involved, I don't know. I never heard rumors of him being gay. I heard rumors of the other thing. And someone did ask me about what I thought about the Epstein and issue. And I'm not going to go there. So there are plenty of people who have gone there and love going there. And you can definitely check them out. There's two things that I did find very sus. But like I said, I don't want to go into them. The one is this photo with him and Jeffrey Epstein, and this flight log of Jeffrey Epstein's with Bob Saget's name on it. So, I don't know. I'm not going there. That's not the type of channel that I am, and I'm not going there. So, again, there's plenty out there. I think the channel is called Too Strong, and they really go into it. So if you want that is, they did it. They talk a lot about that. So you can go there, and then there's many others. Obviously, that one just stuck out to me because the name Too Strong was very easy for me to remember. I'm not very good with names. So anyway, that's about all that I have today. I'm trying to think of what else I did find. I kind of wanted to see Bob's podcast with other people to kind of see if the interaction was more positive, because it seemed like the one with Kelly Rizzo was he just seemed very depressed, and like something was going on in his mind. They were talking about relationships and how they met, and he really was looking back on like his past marriage, and that he wasn't always the best partner, and he really wanted to be different. And also they talked about, he brought up a couple times, almost like they must have had an argument that morning. So I think maybe it was there was some tension there with that as well, but I don't know. So I watched a podcast that he did with Candace Beer, aka DJ Tanner, and with Jodie Sweetin. And the Jodie Sweetin one, he mentions at least twice. I actually didn't finish watching the entire thing, but that he's going to die. And, she kind of laughs. At first she says, well, yeah, I hate to break it to you. You are, we all are. That's just the way life is. And he, and then later on he says it again. And you know what? Here's one clip of that.
13-year-old girl and an almost 11-year-old girl, and it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, I have 34, 31, and 28.
Oh my god!
Isn't that
How
weird?
are they that old?
Well,
it's just so weird because I'm old. I'm
You're not.
not old, but I just have hearing that they're like, yeah, 34. That I mean, they're adults.
How
and I know
old
them
are
as
you?
adults.
How old are you? Are you 30?
39.
You're 39?
Yeah.
I'm going to die.
I mean, eventually. I hate to break it.
I don't think I can die. I actually don't. I mean,
I don't think any of the Full House cast actually will ever.
And can't.
No.
And-
I don't
and
know
that-
what happened, but we are well preserved.
it's
And then you might as well see the second one. So here's the other clip.
For a TV show like that to come back and to come back as successfully as we did, I mean, I was always really proud of that. But yeah, walking into that set the first time, man, I will always remember it. Because when I was 13 and said goodbye, I thought that was it, that I would never see this family again.
yeah.
I didn't know that 35, 36 years later, I'd be doing your podcast. I mean, I really had no idea about that.
I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
But I mean, I
Now, like I said earlier, that could be very much, I'm 65 and his wife is young and fit and, he's got some heart disease going on or, just some heart issue, enlarged heart and some blockages in there, but I don't even know that he knew that. So I don't know, you guys, but I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed. This one definitely wasn't as juicy as probably my last one or my one before that. But like I said, I wanted to wrap it up. So I want to put an end to it. I definitely have other things in the works. I do true crime. So I would like to do Orrin and Orson West. I have some information on that. You can check out any of my other true crime videos. And if you like the video, and if you like it, oh my God, if you like it, if you oh my God, fuck me. Okay, go ahead and like this video if you like it, and if you like me and the content that I bring or how I present it, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified every time I put out a video. And I do put out a video every single week, usually about 2 or 3, but guaranteed 1 video a week, that's for damn sure. Okay, so I have some new stuff coming in as far as tech, and I think I'm going to be able to start editing much better so we don't have so many lagging points and things like that, and I think I can make it a little bit more entertaining once I'm able to edit better. So we'll see. That stuff is on its way. I've already gotten a mic, and what else did I get? I don't know, but I have stuff coming. Okay. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your Sunday. If you're watching this on the day that I'm putting it out, otherwise have a great week, and I will talk to you guys soon.